What is up, everybody out there in HeroClix land? This, once again, is Scott Porter back for a brand new WizKids HeroClix unboxing series. This time for the brand new HeroClix set based upon Marvel Studios' X-Men 97. Boom! You can see behind me, we've got all the X-Men 97 team. This is going to be an incredible set for me. I am just a massive X-Men fan and a huge fan of the X-Men 97 series that you can watch on Disney+. So, because I'm so excited, we've called in some extra help today. Some of you might be familiar with the character of Cable. Cable has a ship that has a ton of technology on it. It's called Graymalkin, in reference to the street that the X-Mansion is upon. He's beaming down some information to us here at HyperRPG Studios in Studio City, and we're going to do the best that we can to share everything we know about this set with you at home. Wait, what is that? Graymalkin, you said there's a very large concentration of highly skilled HeroClix players currently gathering in the past? September the 26th at the WizKids HeroClix World Championships? Okay. All right. Everybody watching at home, I'm going to be leaving you now for a few minutes. I'm going to go to Memphis, Tennessee, and see what is happening with all of these incredibly skilled HeroClix players in Memphis, Tennessee on Friday, September 26th. I know today is September 29th. I've never done this time travel thing before, but I'm going to try right now. So, oh man, I've always wanted to do this. Ooh, okay, here we go. Ship. Body slide by 1, Memphis, Tennessee. Time slide by 1, September 26th.
There be Cable in this set out there and watching these.
Oh, it worked! What is up, everybody out there at the World Championships for HeroClix in Memphis, Tennessee? We are here doing a very special unboxing specifically for you guys here. I think in the future, the people at home from September the 29th through October the 3rd will be watching this unboxing series. But you here 3 days in the past, which is actually in the future for me because I'm filming these in August. It's so confusing, this X-Men timeline. Anyway, I am here to show you the first booster of this brand new X-Men 97 brick. You're seeing it before anybody else in the world here right now at Fan Appreciation Night, and I am so excited to be kind of a part of it. I've never been able to make it to the Worlds as it exists right now in Memphis, so this is kind of like my first appearance, and I'm so stoked to be here. I got to give a shout out to Graymalkin for teleporting me here, and of course HyperRPG Studios for hosting us here, as well as you guys down in Memphis for trekking across the world to go to this incredible event that WizKids hosts every year. I wish I could be here, but in lieu of me being there, I'm going to open a booster and do something I think special for you guys, because you know, WizKids really wants me to play the Scott Summers role, stick by the rules, you know, to me, my X-Men. But I'm thinking I'm a little more like Havoc today. The Summers brother that doesn't follow the rules. So you know what I'm going to do? On top of just showing you one booster, I'm also going to show you a brand new game element today. So without further ado, let's jump into what's on the outside of the booster brick. I know you guys there have probably already peeped some of the images and everything, but I want to just share for anybody who's you know, been spoiler-free up to this point what we got on the outside of the box here. So on the front, of course, we've got X-Men 97. We have the entire squad that is in the X-Men 97 show. Now, 10 episodes on Disney+. This is probably going to be pretty self-contained. I know we already have a HeroClix set, X-Men the Animated Series, but I think this is just going to focus on this particular season. So, Storm, Jubilee, Beast. I mean, a lot of allies in this set too, so hopefully, or in this show, so I'm hoping they make it into the set. On this side of the box, ooh, we've got some of the villains that we see in X-Men 97. The Executioner. Yeah, the leader of the Friends of Humanity. Bunch of jerks. Underneath that, we've got a Prime Sentinel and the creator of the Prime Sentinels himself, Bastion. Okay, on the other side of the box, let's see. Oh, yes! Oh, this is really cool. Okay, we've got Jubilee and we've got a Dino Man. Now, when I say I'm a massive X-Men fan, I am not lying. I have an X-Men arcade unit from way back in the day when you could play 6 players and play through the X-Men arcade game. I have that at my house. This episode with Jubilee and the Dino Men going into the Motendo was very cool. And if you don't know who this is on the top, that's Abissa? I can't remember how they specifically say her name. I think it's Absissa. She is a future Jubilee, which is very, very cool. Okay, on the back, this is usually where we see chases. And I was wondering what they might do with this set. On the back, we have 2 members of the X-Team. We've got Wolverine in his classic brown and yellow uniform, which he only dons towards the end of the season in X-Men 97 and does some really cool stuff in. And then we have, oh, I see why they showed us the 2 of these. We've got Nightcrawler here as well with his swords in his hands. There's a specific moment in the X-Men 97 series, which if you out there right now watching this video have not watched the series, oh, go and watch it. It's a masterclass in how to do comic books in animated form. It's so, so cool. But there's one scene where Wolverine is defending Rogue as she is comatose from all these Prime Sentinels. And he's like, I've got 6 reasons why you won't touch her. And then Nightcrawler teleports in with a sword in each hand and a sword in his tail and goes, 9, my friend, you have 9 blades. Oh, so cool. So we've got Nightcrawler with 3 swords. We've got Wolverine with all 6 claws popped on the back as possible chase figures. And then sometimes we get a clue on the top of the box. And on the top of the box here, we have Cyclops. And I don't know if you can see it at home, but he's got a little word bubble above him. And it looks like it's connected. We've seen word bubbles in like Deadpool and such in the HeroClix set before. And it says, to me, my X-Men, which actually like 3 different characters get to say in this series, and it's so cool the way they do it, but we'll jump into that in a little bit. So everybody out there at the World Championships, man, I wish I could be there, but on behalf of WizKids, I say thank you so much for, you know, traveling from wherever you traveled from to spend an incredible weekend down in Graceland, playing, you know, some of the greatest games the world has seen in HeroClix, and I wish I could be there with you guys, but hopefully next year. In lieu of that, I'm here with you now via video form, and as for Fan Appreciation Night, I say we crack this bad boy open. Okay, here we go. All right, as you know, if you've watched my unboxing videos before, I always open on the back right side of the brick, so I'm going to do that same thing right now for you guys. Now, story time with Scotty P is going to be a little bit different with this unboxing series because there's not a lot of comic book continuity to pull from. I mean, there are stories that they pull from and put into the animated series, but since this particular set is only dealing with the animated series, I don't know really what we could expect outside of the season. I don't think we see anything else. Now, things that excite me about the season is Morph taking on the form of so many different X-Men. If you watched it, not only do we have the X-members in the team, we also have Morph turning into Psylocke or Colossus or Angel, Archangel, you know, Quicksilver. Are these characters that we could possibly see in the set just as Morph changing into? Of course, we've got the basic team. We've got the villains of the season, which are pretty numerous. A lot of them Friends of Humanity, Henry Peter Gyrick. We've got Sentinels everywhere, Prime Sentinels, Bastion. Even towards the end of the season, we see a little appearance of a young Insabanur who becomes Apocalypse. And then a little Easter egg at the end of the season where we see a full-grown Apocalypse. So could Apocalypse be in this? Who knows? We see Jean Grey turn into the Phoenix. We see Madeline Pryor in a much different way in the show than we do in the books. So without further ado, let's jump in and see what we have here. The Adversary, very, very cool form that the Adversary takes in the show that the Adversary does not have within the comic books. So the creative license to be able to tell the X universe in their own way in X-Men 97 was really cool. They delivered it brilliantly. So hoping that we get to see all of those slices here in this HeroClix set. It's slated for release again. In the future. I am coming from the past to you guys right now in August as I'm filming this. The release date is sometime in October, late October, with pre-release set to happen 2 weeks before that. So just keep your eyes out. By now, you might even know the release date, but I'm so early, I don't currently know it. That being said, it's tracking for October release. Check with your local retailers and comic book shops to see what the official date is. All right, in this first booster, we have pulled a super rare. All right, great. Awesome. The first figure we're going to take a look at, though, is actually Bishop. Boom. Bishop is awesome. Now, X-Men the Animated Series, he was not a regular team member, but in X-Men 97, he begins as a team member, which is very cool. We get some information into his time bands. He plays a very big role in the Madeline Pryor and Cyclops storyline, as well as Cables. There we have a Prime Sentinel, followed by a Friend of Humanity. At first, I thought that might have been Callisto or a Morlock, but it's a friend of humanity. I like the cutoff jean jacket. The Morlocks are in the show, so maybe we see them in this set. Of course, everybody's big, furry, blue-bounding best friend, Beast, is in this set. And then the super rare that we pulled in this booster is really cool because the costume that Storm is wearing here is not what she opens the series in. And we'll get into why she has a change of costume. But look at that. That sculpt is awesome. That is the 5th figure that we pull in this first booster that I'm able to do for you guys right here in Memphis a couple of days before the rest of the world will actually see any of this stuff. X-Men 97. I got this shirt from Roosevelt's. You can check them out. They've got an awesome X-Men 97 line. I love that this is like the comic book logo that you would usually see. It's got the Sentinel on the front and on the back. It's got the whole team. Yeah, so anyway, I picked this up a long time ago, and then when I figured out I got to do this set, I was like, pop that in there. All right, here we go. First figure we'll look at, we got a couple of generics here, is going to be a friend of humanity. Worst first. Ugh, hate these people. Led by Executioner, of course, but this is set number 10, Friend of Humanity, Sentinel, and Brute. Keywords: expendable goon, tolerance is extinction, is a shared trait, I'm guessing, for a bunch of different parts of this set. When Friend of Humanity is KO'd by an opposing character, after resolutions, you may roll a d6 on a roll of 1 to 3. Deal the character who KO'd them 1 damage. Oof. If that character has the X-Men team ability, the damage dealt is unavoidable. Double oof. Generate a character with an expendable goon trait on its 15-point starting line adjacent to a friendly character if the roll happens to be 4 to 6. So very difficult to get away from him when they spawn back in. 12 attack, incapacitate, flurry, so you can spawn in and then spam some in-cap tokens onto the figure that you spawn in next to 0 damage there. However, they still are rocking Empower, so they can team up with a bunch of each other. On the back, you see that they have the Underworld team ability. Oh, I love this. Appearance, X-Men 97. To Me, My X-Men. So the names of the episodes are going to be the significant appearances. Very, very cool. All right, next up, another generic Prime Sentinel that these guys are probably going to be pretty nasty because in the show, they handled their business. The first time you see one is when Bolivar Trask turns into one after Rogue throws him off of a rooftop, and then he comes up and kicks the entire team's behind. This Prime Sentinel is a generic, set number 21. New Recruit Sentinel. For all characters with this trait, when Prime Sentinel or an adjacent friendly character with the Sentinel keyword KOs an opposing character, after resolutions, generate a character with the Sentinel keyword of 15 points or less on its starting line, adjacent to a friendly character with the Sentinel keyword. Oh my gosh, they're just making anything with the Sentinel keyword into a new Sentinel. Oof. Ouch. And yeah, sidestep, 4 range, 2 targets, a little bit of improved targeting there. Range combat expert all the way down the dial. Energy shield deflection, you got to get close to him on the back. You see they have the Underworld team ability, and the appearance is X-Men 97. Tolerance is Extinction Part 2. Oh my gosh, these guys are going to be nasty. If you look back at the front of the card there, for all characters with this trait, when Prime Sentinel or an adjacent friendly character with the Sentinel keyword KOs an opposing character. Man, it's going to be tough for them to knock some of the X-Men out, but when they do, they're just spawning new reinforcements right away, just like they do in the show. Like I said, a lot of people on Earth become these Prime Sentinels. I don't know how, when they take damage as a Prime Sentinel, they're like putting their heads back on, they're putting their torsos back together, but then when the Prime Sentinel is taken out of them, they become human again, and they're all still healthy, but I'm getting in the weeds. Anyway, a lot of characters, including a lot of humans that the characters in the show really, really like, become Prime Sentinels, including a reporter named Trish Tilby. Trish Tilby does a lot of interactions with Beast. I didn't exactly love the character, but Beast seemed to really like her, and then she turns on the X-Men down in the infirmary underneath the X-Mansion and becomes a Prime Sentinel herself, and then immediately takes our next buddy that we're going to take a look at out of commission. This is the big, furry, blue, bounding beast. Probably my favorite member of the team in X-Men 97. Oh, my stars and garters. Oh, my. Yes, Beast. X-Men, animal, and scientist keywords. Set number 7. His trait is Mnemonic Scrambler. When Beast attacks targeted characters with the Colossal or the Robot or Sentinel keyword, can't positively modify their combat values until your next turn. Salutations and Welcome is a special power he has. Looks on the first click and the fourth click of his dial, right after his split dial. Outwit and Support both together. You can play him on a split dial at 60 or 30. Everyone that we looked at so far has a split dial. On the back, you can see X-Men 97, to me, my X-Men, Dr. Henry McCoy. McCoy happens to be the name of my son. Is he partially named after one of my favorite X-Men characters of all time? I don't know. I'm not going to say anything, and don't tell my wife that, maybe her son is named after a beast. Anyway, Beast is very, very cool in the books, and a really cool little side note for me is the man who plays Beast is actually a guest star, recurring guest star on Ginny and Georgia. So I get to meet him in person, or I have met him in person and spent a lot of time with him and asked him about his experience of working on X-Men 97, and he told me just nothing but the most glowing things. So that was a really cool little nerdy moment for me, to get to spend time with the voice of Beast on a show that I'm currently working on Netflix. Okay, Bishop will be next. Like I said earlier, Bishop in X-Men the Animated Series was not a full-fledged member of the team for a very good amount of time. At the beginning of X-Men 97, he is a just full-fledged member of the team post Charles Xavier's disappearance or death, as reported to the worldwide news outlets from the X-Men themselves. And he does some really, really cool stuff in the show. Let's look at his card and see if he does some really, really cool stuff in the game of HeroClix as well. Boom. Bishop, everybody's favorite time-hopping XSE agent, the Xavier Security Enforcement. Is the cops from the future. He has X-Force, X-Men, Detective, Future, and Police keywords. Set number 31A. Ooh, he's getting a prime. Future Knowledge. Probability Control. When Bishop uses it, and an opposing character misses all targets, after resolutions, remove an action token from a friendly character with the future or past keywords. Okay, pull a token from himself. Somebody else on the team with future or past comes in at 70 or 50 points. Has a little split dial there on the front. He's got some running shot, energy explosion, got some outwit. On the back, charging up is a secondary trait. Energy shield deflection. When Bishop is damaged by an attack, after resolutions, you may roll a d6 and increase the result by +1 for each click of damage Bishop took from that attack. So you take the damage, and then you may roll this die. If the result is 5 or more on the die roll plus the damage, you may replace Bishop with a 9731B Bishop on the same click number, then heal Bishop or the character who replaced him 2 clicks. Oh, cool. Okay, if you don't know who Bishop is or what he does, let's take a look at his powers real quick and give an example of something really cool that happens in the show. Bishop can absorb energy. If you hit him with a blast, Cyclops' optic blast, fire, or any type of energy manipulation blast, he can absorb that. He can take it in, and then he can unleash it back upon you, right? So fight him at your own caution, because he can turn your powers right back around on you. An awesome example of this is in the show, the Goblin Queen. Madeline Pryor turns into the Goblin Queen. She pulls everybody down into this mental version of hell and is attacking them with all these demons. Cyclops just turns on Bishop, supercharges him to the point where he's just glowing. And then all the demons start to realize, oh, this guy is the biggest problem here. They all start to collapse upon him. He unleashes this energy blast and destroys each and every one of them. And then the two of them, Cyclops and Bishop, turn to each other and say, "You're welcome." Very, very cool moment, and that's kind of this 31A and 31B version of Bishop, how I think they are going to work. I hope everybody out there watching right now thinks this is as cool as I do, because it's a really awesome moment in the show and a really cool way to apply it to the game of HeroClix. So he takes all this damage in, you take the damage, you resolve the attack, You roll a d6, you add the damage to the die roll. If it's a 5 or more, you can replace him. You also heal 2 clicks, right? So he lets that energy out. So he takes the damage, but he unleashes it, heals back up a little bit, and then I can't wait to see what that B version of Bishop does. Very, very cool. We'll see if we pull him later next week in the unboxing. For the people watching in Memphis, or later this week for the people watching in the future at home. Okay, last but not least, we have a super rare here. It is Storm, and like I said, this is a really cool costume that debuts after a very specific storyline happens in the show called Life Death. Morlocks, X-Men, Deity, Mystical, and Ruler keywords, super rare, set number 40. Mistress of the Elements, Force Blast, Sidestep. This is a trait. If Storm occupies outdoor terrain, modify her combat values by +1, and she can use Giant Reach of 3 and Quake. She is 9 clicks long. Holy crap. Buffeting Winds is a special defense power. Energy Shield Deflection, Willpower. Opposing characters within 6 squares have range. So she cuts everybody else's ranged ability to half that is within 6 squares, which happens to be her range. She's got 3 targets. She comes in at 65 points. Wow. Very, very cool. She has a little bit of sidestep to get around, mostly just stealth though. So the move and attack is a little bit limited, but the other things that she can do, very, very cool. On the back of her card, X-Men 97 Tolerance is Extinction Part 3. But I believe that this particular outfit actually debuts after Life Death is over. You see, in the show, the Executioner has a gun that is powered by the technology that Forge created to try and dampen mutant abilities. It ends up stripping her completely of her powers, and she leaves the team for a little bit of time. She meets up with Forge. They end up battling something called the Adversary, which, like I said earlier in the video, takes a much different form than it does in the comic books. Upon defeating the Adversary, she reawakens her mutant abilities, and then when she starts flying across the southern U.S. desert. She has a brand new costume you haven't seen yet, which I believe is this. Her mohawk grows out to this long flowing hair, and she is Storm, the Mistress of Elements, once again. Okay, that is booster number 1 for especially for you here in Memphis. And I think I said earlier, I was just supposed to open just one booster for you guys, but I think I'm going to go a little Havoc style here. And we're going to introduce a brand new game element that we haven't seen yet in HeroClix, and that is going to be what is on the top of the booster this time. This time, we do not have legacy cards. This time, we actually have something called alternate cards. Now, I know alternate cards have been in the lexicon of HeroClix for a little bit of time, but we've never had this game element actually end up into players' hands, so we're going to get it right here. I'm opening up this card on the top here, and who do we get? What alternate card do we get? A002, and that would be Jean Grey. Now, we haven't seen Jean yet. We didn't pull her, but this is her alternate card. So as I go through the rest of this unboxing series next week, for those of you in Memphis, or later this week for you, those of you watching at home, we will take a look at how this differs from Jean Grey's actual card. That's the alternate card for Jean Grey, A002. So we'll take a look at it here. We've got Hellfire Club, Phoenix Force, and X-Men keywords. And we have a trait, Telepathic Network. Friendly characters with the X-Men keyword have Safeguard, Mind Control. When a friendly character with the X-Men keyword is given a costed action, if Jean Grey has no action tokens, you may instead give the action token for that action to Jean Grey. 4 range, 2 targets. Again, we'll keep an eye out to see if we... Oh, I love this on the back of the card, if we pull actual Jean. That being said, whether your mind is the next trait, Mind Control as free, but only if Jean Grey has 2 action tokens. When Jean Grey uses Mind Control, if a friendly character is named Storm, after resolutions, deal each hit character 1 penetrating damage. Very, very cool for the alternate. Again, we'll see if we pull the regular Jean throughout the remainder of this particular set. I'm sure we will. If it's A002, I'm guessing she's pretty early in the set. But I don't know yet. That is an alternate card taking the place of legacy cards in this set. For the first time, we are getting alternate cards into the set. I love the weather your mind. Because once Storm comes back to the team, Jean and her have a moment where Jean says to Storm, make them mind your weather. And then Storm turns to Jean and says, make them weather your mind. And I thought it was such a cool moment. Such great writing in the show. So without further ado, that is all for me. I wanted to say thank you again to each and every single one of you incredibly talented, skilled, fantastic players who are at Worlds right now. I wanted to say thank you with so much appreciation to this entire community of people that come together and make the game of HeroClix so special. This event is for you. This Fan Appreciation Night is all for you. I wish I could be there, but I hope that this little drop-in is, a sign of things to come. Hopefully, I'll be able to make it down to Memphis next year. That being said, I'm going to call back up to Gray Malkin, and I'm going to body slide by 1 to Studio City and time slide forward 3 days to the unboxing series, which goes from September the 29th to October the 3rd. For everybody there in Memphis, do some needling and some asking. If a release date hasn't been asked yet, figure it out with the WizKids folks that are down there. But on behalf of WizKids, thank you all for making the trip to Worlds. We love y'all, the most incredible community on Earth. And with that, I'm out of here. Ship, body slide by 1, time slide by 3 days. Back to Studio City. Peace!
They've had a lot of
brand new
moments.
HeroClix. Okay, all right. We are back. Everybody at home watching. I had to go back in time a couple of days and say thank you to all the HeroClix players that made the trip to Memphis for World Championships. Very, very cool event. I'm so glad they got to go and take part in that. That being said, we still have an event that we are taking part of, and that is this continuation of our first day of the unboxing for the brand new HeroClix set X-Men 97. So we jump right in. Let's see. I'm going to move Storm over here. Oh, you're a bad guy. You're a good guy. You're a bad guy. You're a good guy. All right. Oof. Alternate cards. How cool is that, huh? Yeah. Oof. Really, really neat. New game element that we have. And speaking of game elements, looks like one-shots are back in this set. I just pulled one here. And very cool, we just had the alternate card of Jean. Now we get Jean proper, so we'll be able to very quickly tell the difference between Jean's regular card and Jean's alternate card. We also have somebody else who looks very much like Jean, but is not Jean. That is Madeline Pryor. Very cool to get them in the same booster. Really, really cool. Another guy who's playing a little bit of dress up here. This is Gambit. It looks like that's his outfit from the UN Gala where Genosha is being accepted into the UN on Genosha. Very, very cool. Leads to somewhat tragic circumstances, but very cool to see him in his suit. We've got Rogue in her green and white suit, and we have Sunspot, who is fully powered up here. Roberto DaCosta is saved in the first episode of this series, very reminiscent to the first episode of X-Men the Animated Series, where the X-Men save Jubilee from a mall. The X-Men save Sunspot from the Friends of Humanity. Let's jump right in. Man, we've got 5 really strong heroes here, but since we just looked at the alternate card for Jean Grey, I want to see what this is all about. So we're going to look at Jean first. Jean pops up here. She's set number 2. Jean Grey, Hellfire Club, Phoenix Force, and X-Men. Keywords, comes in at 50 points, no split dial. Trait, we don't know when Sinister switched us. Oh, this is cool. Okay, when Jean Grey starts the game, you may replace her with a X-Men 97 set number 16 Madeline Pryor on the same click number. If you don't, generate a Cyclops bystander who is on the back of this card. We turn it over and we see Cyclops bystander there with a little bit of sidestep, a little bit of toughness, range, combat expert. Very cool. So they don't know when Sinister switched them. See, in the comic books, this storyline unfolds much differently, but in X-Men 97, they do a really cool thing where you open the season and you find out a couple of episodes in that the Jean Grey you have been watching for so long is really not actually Jean Grey. Mr. Sinister cloned Jean Grey, and at this point, both of them are just saying they are Jean. They share memories. They both fought with the X-Men. They're not sure who is who and when they were switched. It happened clearly before Madeline Pryor got pregnant, because Jean Grey at the beginning of the show is pregnant with a child who becomes Nathan Summers. It's all very cool, very time jumpy, very clone, you know, complicated storyline, but very, very cool. Let's look at Madeline right away. I love it. Jean's got her hair pulled back and she's got, you know, her little headpiece. Madeline's hair is down. You'll see as she turns around. But Madeline Pryor, set number 16, Hellfire Club, Phoenix Force, X-Men, and politician keywords. We don't know when Sinister switched us is another trait for her. When Madeline Pryor starts the game, you may replace her with Jean Grey on the same click number. If you don't, generate a Cable bystander. Oh, that's really, really cool. Okay, so Jean spawns a Cyclops bystander. Madeline spawns Cable. Madeline Pryor, of course, is Cable's mother, not Jean Grey. Madeline being a clone of Jean, but the clone had the baby, not the actual Jean, so Madeline is mama. Turn it over and we'll see Cable. He's got some phasing, he's got some energy explosion. A little bit of probability control as well. So really at the beginning of the game, you have both of them and you just decide which kind of bystander or power set that you want to take advantage of. That is pretty cool. When Jean Grey starts the game, you may replace her, or when Madeline Pryor starts the game, you may replace her. That is really, really cool. Get a view of your opponent's squad, see what you need to really combat what they are putting on the map, and figure out which one of these Jeans you want. If we look back at the front of her card, she's got Sidestep, she's got Penetrating Psychic Blast, she's got Perplex. Jean has Mind Control, Telekinesis, and Probability Control. It's kind of cool that the bystanders fill the blanks in what they don't have, right? So Cable having a little bit of probability control where Jean has probability control, you know, so Cable is covering that for Madeline, and Jean has Cyclops who can do a little movement, a little more damage. Very, very cool. I love the way that HeroClix actually addressed this this clone situation here in HeroClix form. Okay. Next, let's take a look at one of my all-time favorite mutants. This is Sunspot, Roberto da Costa. I love him and Cannonball's relationship in the comic books, but in the show, he's much different. Young mutant, doesn't really want to accept his powers from a rich family. You know, he's very scared of what his folks will do when they find out he's a mutant. This, of course, is when he's fully powered up. He actually can fly. This is really cool. All right, Brotherhood of Mutants, New Mutants, X-Men, and Celebrity keywords. Set number 26 comes in at 40 points. Accepting my powers. Free. Once per game, turn Sunspot to click number 5. Okay. Oh, he's got a cool dial here. Looks like the first 3 clicks are very much just Roberto not wanting to utilize his powers, and then clicks 5 through 9, really him accepting his powers. Private Jet, which links to the Roberto version of his character, has Passenger of 2 and Sidestep. Very, very cool. The Da Costa Fortune, also a part of Roberto da Costa's part of this dial. Perplex. When Sunspot uses it, he has a minimum range of 8. And then you see once he fully has accepted his powers, you click him to click number 5. He's got Flight, he's got Running Shot, he's got Penetrating Psychic Blast. Very, very cool. You can go ahead and look at the back of the card here just really quickly, and we will move forward. Yeah, so Sunspot kind of takes the place of Jubilee in X-Men 97 as far as like the young, you know, rookie mutant who the team has taken under their wing. He's very reticent to utilize his powers or come out and say publicly that he is a mutant. He tries to solve all of his problems with money. Jubilee takes advantage of that to go on a shopping spree at some point. But I really, really enjoyed his journey in X-Men 97 in this season, and I love the way to see that he's got this kind of dichotomy within himself, like this rich kid who just doesn't want to use his powers at all, and then finally towards the end of the series where he is fully powered up and doing some really, really cool stuff. Love it. Okay, The Lovers. Man, this was the most heartbreaking storyline in X-Men 97 to me. Rogue and Gambit. And we know in the comic books that Rogue can't touch anybody. with the exception of a couple of people, and they explore that in X-Men 97. She can't touch Gambit at all. They love each other very much with their hearts, but they cannot be involved physically. And because of that, they usually keep themselves at arm's length of each other. Gambit is who I'm going to look at first, the man who sacrificed it all to save what was left of mutant kind on the Isle of Genosha. You see he's in his full suit there. That was what he wore to the UN Gala when the UN wants to accept Genosha into their ranks as an actual recognized nation amongst the world. He has horsemen, X-Men, assassin, and spy keywords. Horsemen, maybe from that little post-credit scene in the very end of Season 1. Very, very cool. When Apocalypse picks up the Queen of Hearts card that he has carried with him. That kind of represents Rogue the whole time, maybe intimating that he may become the Horseman of Death. The name is Gambit, mon ami. When Gambit is KO'd by an opposing character after resolutions, you may deal damage to that character equal to the number of standard characters in your KO area. Oh, that's a really cool way to kind of frame that scene where he sacrifices himself. If that character has Colossal or the Robot or Sentinel keyword, the damage dealt is penetrating, protected, pulse wave. Very, very cool. So what happens in the scene, that power is actually referencing is what looks like Tri-Sentinel, but is really kind of a new master mold that Bastion has brought back to life and sent to Genosha in the middle of this UN Gala. It is bringing death and destruction to so many mutants out of nowhere. It is a crazy ambush in a moment in time where so much of the trajectory of X-Men 97 completely changes. Rogue and Gambit are fighting against this giant new Tri-Sentinel / Master Mold and a bunch of other Sentinels. They're just watching mutants die around them, and they've got to figure out a way to stop it. Rogue decides that she's going to do just that. In order to stop her, Gambit charges up his motorcycle, throws it at her, knocking her unconscious and out of the way, and then he takes on the Sentinel by himself. The Sentinel stabs him in the gut, pulls him up in front of him, and he says the line that the power is representing. The name is Gambit, mon ami, and the name of the episode is Remember It, which is exactly what he says before he fully charges up the giant Master Mold / Tri-Sentinel on the Isle of Genosha and blows it up, ending the conflict but sacrificing himself in the process. So very, very cool. I hope we get other Gambits in this set. We'll have to see if we do. That being said, the next figure we're going to take a look at is Rogue. The lovers separated by their powers. Rogue, Brotherhood of Mutants, Savage Land, X-Men, and Politician keywords. I love the use of keywords in this set, by the way. Set number 12 comes in at 65 or 50 points. Let me borrow this sugar is a trait. Free. Give an adjacent friendly character up to 2 action tokens. For each action token given, choose a standard power that character can use. Rogue can use the chosen powers until she chooses again. She does this at a moment in the show as well. She borrows some powers from her friendly teammates. On the back, you see X-Men and Brotherhood team abilities. X-Men 97 Mutant Liberation Begins. Anne-Marie Darkholme. And yes, you may recognize that name, daughter of Mystique. Just like Nightcrawler, son of Mystique within the storyline of the show or the series itself. We saw Brotherhood of Mutants on there. I wonder if the Brotherhood keyword that has appeared on a couple of different people, including Sunspot, is in reference to the X-Men that choose to go with Magneto once Professor X returns. Some of them stay with Professor X. Some of them choose to go with Magneto up to Asteroid M. I believe that may be why they are getting this particular reference. That being said, Savage Land being on a Rogue, when you get some recaps about her powers, there are actually storylines they touch on in flashbacks in X-Men 97, where Magneto and Rogue were both in the Savage Land together. That is where their relationship kind of started a long time ago when they found out that the two of them could touch each other due to Magneto's unique electromagnetic field around his body. Him and Rogue can touch, and that's kind of where their storyline began, was in the Savage Land. So to see that keyword come into play in this set is really, really cool as well. Okay, without any more hesitation, we're going to go into the final card that we have. This is Magneto was right. We have a one-shot for this particular set. I don't know how many there are. This is S001. So let's take a look at it. Effect. At the beginning of your turn, you may choose that friendly characters that can use the Brotherhood team ability this turn. If you do this turn, when characters attack, they treat their finalized attack roll as being one higher for each character in your KO area for the purposes of triggering the Brotherhood team ability. This one shot is 5 points. You can see it there in the bottom left. So one shots have made their way back in. We saw alternate cards today, and that is going to do it for today's unboxing. Remember, I'm shooting this all the way back in August. I'm in the past and coming to you in the future. And unfortunately, I don't have official release dates. I know it's in the month of October. I just don't know when. So reach out to your local comic shops and your local game stores to see when the set drops and when you can get your hands on it in the pre-releases as well. The rest of this week, we're going to be taking a look at 3 boosters tomorrow. On Wednesday, we're going to look at 2 boosters and the release day kit. On Thursday, we're going to look at 3 more boosters, and on Friday, we're going to look at 2 boosters and the Play at Home kit. So I'm very excited to share all that with you as we continue on our X-Men 97 unboxing series. I hope we get a bunch more villains. I'm not sure what else we are going to get in this set, but I think I'm primed and ready to see exactly what is coming up. To me, my X-Men. I cannot wait to share the rest of this with you. I will see you guys tomorrow for day number 2 of our unboxing. And until I do, may all your rolls be critical hits.